Okay, so the latest book I'm going to look at in my look at old fantasy books that I used to read. Well, fighting fantasy type books. Well, this isn't actually fighting fantasy, but it is a fantasy role-playing game book of a very similar nature. Now, this plays very similarly to a lot of the fighting fantasy. It's not connected to them. This was written by Ian Page and Joe Dever. This is actually book 2. From what I understand, the book's actually, these Lone Wolf series actually go into several books in total, so you could quite easily get lost in the series. But the way they were written was in such a way that you didn't need to have actually played any of the previous books. This is book 2. The way I got this one, this was actually a straight up swap. I swapped a choose your own adventure book I had, which was called The Horror of High Ridge, for this one. It was meant to be a temporary swap, but I think this one really opened up my eyes to just how much potential this kind of book had. Let's just have a look at the back here. You are the wizard Greystar. Your quest is to retrieve the legendary Moonstone and with its power throw down the evil Wytch-king. You must find the Shadow Gate, doorway to the magic realm where it lies hidden. When the moon is full, the Shadow Gate appears, in Desolation Valley beyond the mountains of Morn, where you must dare the Forbidden City. The Wytch-king will try to track you down, his slaves will dog your every step. The cruel warriors of Shadaki, the phantom spirit of the Death Gaunt, and the dark horror of the demon Khaleesi. Only your magical powers and the might of your wizard's staff can protect you in terrifying adventures of madness, magic, and menace. The world of Lone Wolf is an exciting adventure series in which you are the hero, you make the decisions, and you fight the combats using the unique systems included in the book. Also available in the World of Lone Wolf series, Greystar the Wizard. And at the time, this went for £1.75. Australian $3.95, Canadian dollars $4.50, and those were the recommended price in those countries. The UK apparently didn't have a recommended price, it was just what was on the book. So, but you would think that these would always be recommended prices. Anyway, quite nice artwork there. It looks quite good. The bearer of this scroll, namely your name, is a wizard of the Chianti. Gives you some information about the author, Ian Page, and the editor, Joe Dever. So Joe Dever gets a credit on the book as being a writer when he's not. It's produced by Beaver Books. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be an imprint of anyone or anything. Beaver Book, published by Arrow Books Limited, imprint of Century Hutchinson. Yeah, first published 86. Never heard of any of those companies. Anyhow, it's dedicated to Julie, whoever Julie is. This is your action shot. Tells you what your magical powers are. I think you can pick up different powers as you go along. Right, I've got my backpack divided into 2 sections here. I think the reason for that was at one point you got given a new backpack, okay, by one of the characters, so I misread that to mean that you now had 2 backpacks at the same time. So I was imagining somebody going around wearing 2, one strapped over each shoulder, which would be horribly impractical and rather uncomfortable. But still, what did I know at that point? Still wouldn't put it past somebody to come up with that kind of design even now. You've got a section for how many meals you have left over. You've got your herb pouch. You've got your maximum number of money, 50 nobles in this case. Your combat skill, your willpower, your endurance points, and your combat record. How many points you have as you go down. Special items and weapons list. So things that you can presumably have in reserve, and so on. You've got something that comes up with your combat skill and your endurance points and whatnot. You've got an idea of what your weapons can do, what their effects are, and so on. Right, it actually gives you a bit of the backstory. It goes over a few pages, the story so far. Because basically, as I said before, the way this was written was so that you didn't have to actually have played the previous books, because it gives you the background, and there's all this other stuff here about all the different rules of and so on. Artwork, it looks like it's been done by a very different person to whoever's done the front. There wasn't anything to... Oh, where did that come from? I turned 2 pages at the same time there, didn't I? So you actually get a map, a rather nice map as well of the area you'd be exploring. But yeah, as I was saying before, the way it's structured, you don't have to have played the previous books, because it does give you the backstory, you know, the character's backstory, what happened in the previous books, and so on and so forth. Now, from what I remember, this is without me rereading everything again. From what I remember, you basically in the first book, you gained a couple of allies, one of whom was outright killed, and the others seemed to disappear. You actually get reunited with that particular person at the end of this story through one of the endings, and presumably that's a canonical ending, and therefore you would come across that character in the next book. But I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it is quite a lot to go through. That's several pages before you get to make your first... Well, you don't even get to make your first choice, you just have to turn to page 126. Let's just go through this. The room is silent. Okosa, the Kundi king, his servants, and Uruk, the old shaman of the Kundi tribe, look on intently as you concentrate on the strange riddle. Suddenly the solution crystallizes in your mind. Why does Shanti and Kundi man look eye to eye? Of course, the eyes of the Shanti race have pupils like mirrored glass. Anyone looking into the eyes of Shanti would see themselves reflected there. Shanti man sees Kundi man, but what does Kundi see? The Kundi man would see himself. You give your answers. At once the tension in the atmosphere evaporates. The expressions on the faces of the assembled Kundi men change to a mixture of awe and respect, and Uruk bows low. Welcome, friend, he says simply. King Okosa steps forward and grips your hand firmly. Forgive us, he says, these troubled times. Shadakine wear many disguises. Evil have many faces. We give all help to Shanti's child now we know he speaks truth. So he obviously speaks in a broken English tradition. You breathe a great sigh of relief, for without the aid of the Kundi, your quest is doomed to failure. Only the eyes of Kundi man are able to see the magical shadow gate, the door you must open before entering the realm of the Zami plain where the Moonstone of the Shanti is hidden. The exhaustion and fatigue of your adventure on your way to the Cloud Forest floods through you like a great wave that washes through your tired limbs. Before you can speak your thanks, you fall into a faint. Through the haze of a dream, your senses pass from sleep to waking. Opening your eyes, you see the wrinkled face of Ulrich. Ulrich. I've been playing Skyrim again too much. Ulrich is one of the characters from that. Gazing intently into your own. How long, you falter? 3 days, 3 nights. Deep sleep have healing ways. It is true? Uruk replies. You sit up in the hammock that has been your resting place these past 3 days and look around. Bright sunlight streams in through the windows of the wooden chamber. The events of the past weeks rush through your mind with some surprise. You note that your body is unmarked after the horrors of your ordeal. Even the mallet spike on your leg has disappeared. Kundi magic, Uruk exclaimed mysteriously. Your tattered grey robes, washed and repaired, are laid out for you. When you have breakfast on fresh rainwater and honey cakes, you are led out to meet King Okasa once more. You marvel at the breathtaking beauty of the Cloud Forest that is the home of the Kundi people. Uruk leads, shambling along with his comical bow-legged walk and toothless smile, and you cross the wooden walkways that connect the tree. Houses of Kundi. They nestle among the highest branches of giant azurwood trees, while towering heights and leafy peaks draw moisture from the clouds themselves, the wooden turrets of a forest castle surrounded by an ocean of cloud. You're brought here before the Kundi king once more. He and his advisors are gathered in the largest of the tree houses, and old Uruk ushers you in. You are well, the king asks. You nod your head and thank him, and his people for treating you with such kindness. Long ago, the king continues. Yeah, this is basically going to go on. This is basically setting the scene for you. From what I can remember, basically Shanti are a group of people that are now extinct, a bit like the Jedi. Grey Wolf, or Lone Wolf even, is basically the last of them. Although he wasn't actually one of them, so to speak. I think he was adopted, found and raised by them, and so on and so forth, and became a powerful wizard in his own right. But he's literally the last of them, and he's obviously looking on his quest for the Moonstone. Let's just take a look at what else we've got here art-wise. We've got various different weapons and so on. The artwork does seem to stand out quite nicely here. Very stylish. What the hell is going on there? A wayward walks towards the Shakading witch, unable to resist the desire to slay. That does look rather nasty. And one of the other things about this is that you've got various different powers that are available. You can't have all of them, so you have to decide which ones you want. And if you have certain powers, that means that certain plot lines are available to you and certain other plot lines aren't, so you've got to decide which ones would be best suited. Let's see. Held in a headlock is a scrawny man, the thief from the cavern of the Freedom Guild. The Freedom Guild had thieves in it. But who's the person giving him the headlock? Samu enters the groves of trees, held in a headlock and girdling please for release, a scrawny looking man dressed in a leather jacket and bright scarlet breeches. So Samu is obviously that big guy who looks like, well, he looks a bit like the Beast from the Beauty and Beast TV series that had Linda Hamilton in. She was Beauty, it was Ron Perlman who was the Beast, under heavy prosthetic makeup. Ooh, now that's an image I can remember. That's the Wytch-king of Shadaki. And that is... well, it's him telling you that he has chosen you. You have won the lottery. The lottery of death. And that looks very much like a Roswell Grey who's decided to cosplay as the Spectre of Death, the Grim Reaper. Now the thing is, as you go through... ooh, the Rain King prepares to dine. And that looks like somebody's hand, so I dread to think what this is actually a meal of. I'm not going to go into too much detail there. You hide in the tall reeds as a Shadakine, whatever that word is. You're being hunted by a man with a spear and a man with a crossbow. But the way this is written, a lot of the time, comes across more like a sort of novel more than anything else. It's still basically using the basic paragraph system, but some of these paragraphs literally go on for pages, which is fairly unique in some regards, but the writing itself is actually quite well done. It's you know, on a much higher par than you would normally expect from certain game books that I've read over the years, which are very obviously aimed at children, but this is obviously aimed at a bit of a more mature audience. Look, it's a French god from that castle in Monty Python. Looking revolting. Oh no! It's Jar Jar! Oh, must be a magical book of some sort. More Roswell Greys all cosplaying as Death, or possibly 3 of the 9 Ring Wraiths, who knows? Well, that looks technically sound, but not exactly the most interesting picture we've ever seen. Possibly the most basic picture I've seen yet. There's not much in the way of artwork to break things up. The artwork only really comes into play when it's really needed here. You know, help punctuate the point that they're trying to make with the rest of the text. Oh, the Roswell Grey again. Ooh, that looks good. A flash of gleaming white light leaps from your staff, tearing open the darkness of the night. A young Chaksu, a much sought after beast. You know, I'm kind of getting the feeling that, given how many books these are, I'd be very surprised if somebody hadn't approached the author to try to make a video game out of it, because it would make it for an excellent, given how much story there is, how many books there are in the series, it would make for an excellent RPG with today's systems. I'd imagine a sort of cross between Skyrim and The Witcher 3, you know, and that the world would be vast, but you'd be going from different locations to different locations, but have a lot to do. So you have the freedom of movement that you have in, say, Skyrim, with lots of options to interact with lots of different things, but like The Witcher 3, you're going from one different location to another location to another location, so entirely different maps that aren't necessarily connected. And possibly more of a limit on the powers and abilities you would actually have. Hello, that looks quite nice. A walled city. It's not a castle, it's just a walled city, but it's a very well made walled city. The artwork gets a little basic, but that's probably to reduce printing costs more than anything else. Suddenly the charges sounded and the fighters of the Freedom Guild fall upon the slave train. Just outside the city walls. Of whatever that city may be. Oh, Henry VIII, what have you done to this church? Again. Now this is something I was talking about earlier. Okay, we have the Wytch-king at the front here. These are two of your companions from the previous book. That's the guy who got killed before. The other is a woman who apparently got killed, but apparently comes back in some way. Samu turns and slashes at the wretches who try to drag him from the door. Yeah, I don't think we really want to mess with the guy that size. Especially when he's got a great big sword and quite a notched sword as well. He hasn't really taken that much care of it, has he? Either that he's had such severe use out of it that, it's a bit on the broken side. I have no idea what's going on there, but I'm thinking you've got to try to rescue that woman. And I think that's the woman from before. Yeah. So we've got a bit more info here. Joe Dever and Gary Chalk, winners of the 1985 Gamebook of the Year award. So that's a different series altogether that Joe Dever's been involved with somebody else. This is Ian Page. And you've got a bit more information. From only £4.95 you could get a Lone Wolf t-shirt. I wonder if the same t-shirts are still available, because I'm pretty sure there is a website. Yes, there is actually a website, because I did some reading about this a few months back. On the official website it does actually mention that he has basically rewritten some of the books, because as he's gone on writing, he's became a better writer, so he's gone over his old material and thought, yeah, I could phrase this better, I could tighten this up here, this could be a bit longer, this could be a bit shorter, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think in general terms, whether you agree with that or not, I think that's still down to the writer's prerogative, but it's obviously possible for him to still produce more material. Whether the series ever actually ended or not, I don't know. Miniatures, software, there was obviously interactive RPG stuff there, we've got the random number table, and the rules are actually on the back here on how you actually do your combat. You can even evade combat as well, which is always handy. Right, I think that is quite enough at that, because it's a lot more complicated than the Fighting Fantasy books were. So I'm going to leave it there, but I am definitely going to recommend it, and what I'm going to do at some point is I'm going to try to find the rest of this series, because just flicking through it, seeing the potential that it has, definitely wants me to have more of it. And of course at one point I'm going to have a read through this as well, in full, so I can have a good few rounds of play before I do anything else. But I shall end it there. I shall thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.